Good morning, welcome to Dark Histories Yesterday Today. It's Wednesday, the 13th of March. I hope you're all doing well. The newest episode of Dark Histories, like the newest main episode, is well on the way. It should be coming out probably tonight or tomorrow for Patreon members, and it will be, of course, Sunday for everyone else, just like it always is. Today, though, on Yesterday Today, we're having a look at the Penrith Observer from 1883. Now, I know nothing about Penrith except from With Nail and I, but I absolutely love that film, so I was quite excited to dig through the old newspaper. First up, we've got what's headlined as a heartless case of bigamy. On Monday, at the Accrington Police Court, James Woodhouse, engine driver, aged about 30 years, was charged with bigamy after courting a young woman of respectable position named Frances Jane Ling Taylor for some months. The prisoner proposed marriage, and the bans were published at Haslingden, but were allowed to run out, the prisoner alleging that he had the prospect of a good situation as a driver, and he thought it would be best to wait. He also stated that he would have to pass an examination before he could get the situation. Subsequently, he represented to the girl that he had passed his examination at Preston and suggested that they should be married by licence. The suggestion was accepted, and they were married on the 15th of January at Christchurch, Accrington. The following day, the couple started for Preston, where the prisoner secured possession of the young woman's watch and sold it for 10 shillings. They proceeded to Workington, Cumberland, when the prisoner got a situation on board the steamer Southward. He then told the young woman that she must return home, as he could not take her on board the vessel. She left with him a box and ring, and returned home, where she was informed of the prisoner's previous marriage to a woman residing at church. The intelligences of the prisoner's legal marriage threw the young woman into a swoon, and she was medically attended for a week. The prisoner baffled the efforts of the police until Saturday, when Detective Sinclair of the Borough Police Force proceeded to Blackburn and saw the prisoner's wife get into a train which went in the direction of Preston. He also got into the train and saw the woman alight at Cherry Tree. The officer donned a porter's uniform, rubbed his face with oily waste, and walked about the platform as one of the servants of the railway company. Presently, the prisoner's wife left the station, and she was followed by the officer to the bank of the canal, where she met the prisoner, who was then arrested. The chief constable applied for a remand, which was granted. That story is not so strange, right? But the thing I really loved about it was Detective Sinclair and all his efforts to blend in whilst following her in the station. He got a uniform, got changed, and blacked up his face, which, oh my life, let's not even start there. Which must have taken him a little while. So he immediately followed her about the station and she left. And then he started following her down the street, still dressed in a station's porter's uniform with his face all blacked up. So he would have done the complete opposite of what he was planning and been walking down the street sticking out like an absolute sore thumb. You can just imagine it, can't you? You're real undercover there. Well done, Detective Sinclair. I've brought up the subject of Victorian weather forecasts before, and of how they're not quite what you'd call a forecast, and rather they could more accurately be titled as yesterday's weather. Here's a story that might explain a little more about the general side-eye given to actual forecasts. The storm which never came. Sunday last was the day fixed by American prophets for an unprecedented severe storm, which was to strike the British and Norwegian coasts at 5 p.m. Those who have been accustomed to trust implicitly in Yankee predictions, and who were looking forward for 7 feet of snow and a general removal of chimneys, were doomed for disappointment. A cold breeze blew from the north all day, and snowflakes fell at intervals between floods of sunshine. The falsification of this most sensational American weather prognostication will have rudely shaken public confidence in weather prophecies. So there you go. weather forecasts were actually prophecies, and they weren't given by forecasters, but prophets. The whole thing was just a total voodoo. To be fair though, I actually think they did a pretty fair job, given that some snow actually did fall. I mean, it wasn't the storm that they were predicting, but they still predicted snow, and they didn't have any satellites or anything. I mean, it was the late 1800s. Most communications still came by letter, and it took months. So I think they did a pretty, not a bad job, to be fair. So normally, with the main Dark Histories episodes, we deal with mysteries and unsolved crimes. But in this story, it's all switched up, and we actually have an answer for once. The mystery, however, is how it all started. A railway mystery explained. It is stated that the mystery surrounding the supposed murder in railway carriage on the Waterford line has been fully explained. Last evening, a man named Caulfield engaged in the pig trade called at Waterford Police Barracks and stated that he and another man named Larkin were travelling in the carriage in question, and that when near Bennett's Bridge, Larkin began to bleed from the nose. He took off his necktie and collar and lay down in the carriage, whilst a cold stone was placed upon his spine in order to stop the profuse flow of blood. What was supposed to be bespattered brains is now said to have been only clotted blood. The police have no reason to doubt the accuracy of this statement. Bespattered brains. Good old Victorian sensitivity, eh? That was yesterday. This is today. Have a good one.